welcome to Small Seeds and welcome to my herboratory. This is the new word I'm using for my little apothecary area, my apothecaria, if you will, where I like to create my herbal concoctions, remedies, and store them. I absolutely love this little space and am very happy to share my herbal creations with you in it, so welcome. Alright, anyway, today I would like to show you my new favorite way of making herb-infused oils for salves and other skincare products. For 4 years now, I have been using the simple folk method of infusing oils for a few weeks on a sunny windowsill, which I have to say worked really well for me. But this method I have been using now for about 9 months, and I've been having wonderful results with it. This is called the alcohol intermediary method. This method creates a very potent, more shelf-stable oil in a short amount of time. It helps to extract more color from your herbs compared to the solar infusion folk method, as well as more of the plant's active constituents, especially the ones that aren't oil-soluble. To make your herb-infused oil with this method, you will need dried herbs, a jar for infusing, a high-proof alcohol, your oil of choice, and some tools that are very useful for this method are a scale and a blender. However, a nice oil can still be made without these. For the straining process, when your oil is finished, you will need some type of equipment for straining, such as a sieve, some cheesecloth, a muslin bag, or even a coffee filter, a funnel, and a bottle to store your finished oil in. So let's start out with our dried herbs. And for this method, it is recommended to be precise and weigh your herbs. But if you don't have a scale on hand, you can go with the folk way of doing things and fill your jar about halfway to 2/3 of the way with your herbs. It's really up to you, and I have taken both approaches with good results. More recently, I was gifted with a scale and have been putting it to good use with making my oils. So for this oil, I weighed out 1 ounce of dried arnica flowers. After weighing or even eyeballing your dried plant material, it is recommended to chop your herbs to increase the surface area of your herbs to aid in the extraction process. If you don't have a blender or a chopper, I suggest doing your best to grind it up as much as possible. And once this is done, it is time to add in the alcohol. Don't let that fancy bottle fool you either. I am just using Everclear, and I use this for most of my tinctures and oils because you can find it at pretty much any liquor store, and it's reasonably priced. However, I would like to look into finding a local organic high-proof grain alcohol for the future. For every ounce of herb, you will add in anywhere from 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce of alcohol. You basically want to add in enough alcohol to moisten the herbs. You do not want them soaking in the alcohol, and you don't want them soggy either. So I measured out 1 ounce of Everclear, then added in about half, mixed it up a bit, and then decided to just go for the full liquid ounce. If you are using a metal lid on your jar, it is always a good idea to put a layer of parchment paper or saran wrap underneath the lid to make sure the alcohol doesn't corrode the metal lid. So I am so used to doing this that it didn't even occur to me that I was using a plastic lid and I really didn't need this step, but oh well. You want to make sure that all of your ground herbs are saturated evenly, so I usually give it a nice shake. After this step, you let your mixture sit for about 24 hours, so that way the alcohol can get to extracting some of those active plant constituents. And when you return to your herb and alcohol mixture the next day, you are almost done. So the next step is adding in your oil. I usually use olive oil for most of my infused oils, sometimes coconut oil, but for this one I am using sweet almond oil, because I would like to add this finished oil to massage bars or possibly just use it as a base for a massage oil. And I like to use sweet almond oil for that kind of product. Okay. So for every ounce of herbs, you will add about 8 ounces of oil. Next, you will blend all of it together for about 5 minutes. Again, if you don't have a blender, you could just let your oil infuse for another day or two, and make sure to shake it well when you can throughout that time. I have made oils like this and they still came out pretty nice. However, using a blender is a part of the original method. But I believe it's okay to change it up sometimes according to what you have on hand and whatever your preference is, really. And you know what? Using a blender for 5 minutes straight really feels like a long time, especially this type of blender that you have to hold down for it to blend. My hands started to feel numb. Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Done. And finally, it is time to strain your oil and bottle it up. Yay! I will usually use a few layers of cheesecloth and a sieve, but I had no cheesecloth on hand, so I decided to use a coffee filter instead. And to be honest, it took a lot longer than usual, but I think it did a really great job because I didn't have to worry about any small pieces slipping through, which sometimes happens with even a few layers of cheesecloth. However, I had to be really careful when I was squeezing out the remaining oil so that I didn't break open the coffee filter. Something else to add is that you really don't have to strain your oil right away. Sometimes I will let it sit another day or two so it can infuse a bit longer, and you could do this in a very warm area to help aid in the extraction process, or even gently heat your oil over the stove. So now your oil is finished, you can label it however you'd like to, and then store it in a cool, dark place. So there you have it, the alcohol intermediary method, which produces a potent, more shelf-stable, and really just a beautiful looking oil. Thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day.